Hi everyone, bonjour à tous. J'espère que vous m'entendez bien. Le cours aujourd'hui de class today is in English. So as I think I told you last week, we are going to be alternating between a French class and an English class every week. And so here we are, second week, English class. So welcome to everyone, whatever is your mother tongue, wherever you are. It's very touching to see already in the chat room here where people are saying hi from uh, in North America, all over in North America and in Europe. So I'm really happy to be with you. I hope you're well. I hope you're okay. I hope you're safe. Yeah. And yeah, so we come together to practice, to bring this quality of presence that can be so helpful these days. This very simple practice. So I'm going to try to give some instructions, and we'll sit together. We'll practice together. So this very simple quality of presence, where the mind, we could say, gives up trying to get something, searching for something, trying to acquire something. So we're practicing non-acquiring mind. We're exploring, maybe investigating to see what could be a quality of presence that would not be neither judging nor trying to get something. And earlier today, I was reading some wise words from what's his name in English? Epictetus. Epictetus. It's a Greek philosopher, a Stoician, and so the quote from him. Let me translate it in English. Here he says, what brings, free translation here, what brings turbulence is not in the heart, in the mind. What brings turbulence is not reality, but the judgments we have on it. So that's quite a statement. I'll read it again. What brings affliction in the heart, in the mind, is not reality as much as the judgments we have against it, or against what's happening in reality. So that's a bit of the basis of the Buddhist philosophy, of Buddhist practice. And so what we're trying to do here is try to see, it's called inner work, how we can be in balance, in peace, maybe in joy, in care, with the reality as it is. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to go and change the systems and improve things and question things and oppose what doesn't work. But that's the kind of outer work. And here in this hour, we're actually focusing, we could say, on inner work. How to be with things as they are right now, here. How to have some kind of freedom with things just as they are. It's not easy. Not easy at all. It's probably the exploration of a lifetime. But the instructions just for now would be to see if we can actually be in equilibrium, in balance, just now, here, with things just as they are in this room, where you are, in this body in which you are alive now, where there is life. And so just getting attuned, we could say, to reality, and allowing it to exist as it is, not putting on it all our explanations and storytelling, the narration that we do, or the demands that we put on it, on judgment or judgments. Just allowing it to be just as it is right now. Very, very simple. Maybe I'm putting even too many words on it just now. So if you want to, let's try it. And your eyes can be open, they can be closed. And because you're not on camera like I am right now, you could be in any posture. And as you know, often we recommend, it can be helpful to be in a posture that is both has relaxation in it, but also some kind of vitality, some kind of energy, life force. And so I'm sitting on my cushion here. My back is erect, straight. And so there's both relaxation. My shoulders are not tense. I release the shoulders. And my forehead, I release. And I release the hands where they land. You can't see it, but on my lap. And I relax the breath. So there's relaxation, yet there's also a certain kind of aliveness, certain kind of engagement with life. I'm not asleep, I'm awake. So I'm practicing both being awake and relaxed, just in order to allow reality to be experienced very simply, directly to the senses, through the senses. See how it's possible for you to be here, just now, in this body that is alive, that is pulsing or pressing or breathing. Just allowing yourself to become awake to the body, sensitive. Not trying to control anything, but allowing the body to be alive and breathing as it is and sensitive as it is, hearing sounds maybe or silence. The body resting here in its posture, and the mind awake to it. The body sensitive to temperature in the room, maybe to the light touching the eyes. Discovering just how it is to be here now, how it is to be attentive for a moment. What it is to listen. Not trying to solve or explain anything. Not trying to produce or gain anything. Not pushing anything, just allowing what is there to be felt. Just here, this body breathing, Discovering what it is when we are not telling life what it is or should be, or was, or could be. When we abandon all this and just discover how it is right now, how it is just now. Feeling it, not explaining it or describing it, just experiencing life. Just discovering how it feels to be here, attentive. Sometimes it's slightly uncomfortable or very uncomfortable. And sometimes it's neutral, nothing special. Sometimes it's beautiful in some ways, or comfortable, or tender, or spacious. So here, now, very simply, giving up trying to be further along, pausing here, awake to this living system, befriending the breath, befriending the silence, the sound. Just here, feeling these hands, this belly, stopping just for a few moments in the middle of the race, just stopping to notice what's there. Underneath, maybe it was covered by our agitation and constant thinking. Now we notice discovering, uncovering what was there under the silence, the body, the breath. And we might notice the state of the mind. Maybe something opens up, some calm shows up. It was right there available, maybe. Now, given the conditions, it arises. Maybe some tenderness when we were habitually a little rough or dry. Maybe a little benevolence, friendliness, care can arise. Not trying to improve anything, just allowing the breath to be just as it is. It might be smooth, it might be chaotic, jumpy. Same with the mind and heart. It might be contracted or not. And we carefully notice, oh, that's how it is right now. In the body, in the mind, heart. Noticing if the mind wants to push further along, make something out of this story. Not making anything out of this. Just being. Being aware of being. We might even drop the I that is often conceived as being at the center of it all. Just a body sitting here, lying here, conscious, sensitive, just a human being. Discovering what it is to be a human being as it's happening. Human beings, extremely sensitive, experiencing breath, experiencing silence or sounds, temperature, gravity. Experiencing moods, thoughts, images. Lucidly experiencing what it is to be a human being just for a few more moments. The mind returns to its habits. Maybe we become aware of this, how the mind gets fascinated by dreams, habitual thoughts, obsessive thoughts, compulsive thoughts, opinions, preferences, anticipations. We become aware of this play, how the mind gets hooked, easily kidnapped. And we wake up again to just being here, abandoning constructions in the mind, just to be here, alive, awake. I truly hope this was not too loud. If the eyes were closed, you can open them and maybe stretch the body a little bit, move the body. Okay. Thank you for this. I don't know how it felt for you, but for me it felt very both simple and very powerful. Very, very simple, almost ordinary. But this opportunity to just stop, actually it feels political for me. This word came back a few times as we were sitting. This is a political action we're doing together. We're stopping consumptions, stopping the war of opinions, stopping to listen. It seems so important these days to listen to what's happening. We could easily be emitting a lot of opinions, forgetting to actually listen to what's happening between us, what's happening in the different systems that we are part of, and listening to this system here. So much information in this system that we bypass with our thinking brain and opinion-making brain and preference-making brain, and the way we get fascinated by all of these and by the agitation that is fueling, I think, a lot of our thoughts. Fueled by, provided, your thoughts generously provided by agitation. Would you want to trust these thoughts, And so the importance of slowing down, stopping, pausing, to actually uncover what's underneath, discover what's underneath. And it's very much of a practice that is pre-conceptual. We're not explaining, it's very humble. When we get pre-conceptual, I think it needs some humility, because we're not in the world of efficiency, productivity, and it's not like this. It's a different world where we have to tune in, and life speaks maybe a little bit more slowly than we're used to in terms of receiving information. We're used to and addicted to receiving tons of info. And in this relationship, it has to be in a different time frame, I think, of meditative presence. And I think it's a time, kind of a rapport with time, or a time frame, a way to be with time that is not very capitalistic, and that we could gain by inviting more of this inside ourselves, between ourselves, and so that it could slowly infuse the system, and we could bring a different kind of intelligence in the picture. More felt. So our skin, the message coming from the skin, from the intuition, from nature, could be heard a little bit more. I don't know if it makes sense to you. It takes courage to do this, because we're so used, many of us, check if it's true for you, to go at full speed. So to actually stop and listen can be very uncomfortable, very unknown territories, terra incognita. So sometimes it takes a strong courage, intention, and maybe if you've practiced this, the richness of the territory. How, to quote Ajahn Chah, as many of you know, when you sit by the lake, by the quiet lake, and you don't fuss around, you don't make noise or move about, and you just stay quiet, how you'll see all kinds of strange and beautiful animals appear. So as we do this, start to listen. Things come to the surface, old aches, or grief, or uncertainty, or there might be the lack, not the lack, but the loss of identity. If I'm not producing thoughts and opinions and judgments and desires about things, who am I? My identity is lost. I don't know who I am anymore. And so it takes great courage to go and explore these fields where we're not cramming, not always sure of the words I'm using, cramming all the space with informations and opinions and preferences. Something else can be felt. Yeah, something political about it. And I'm reminded of Pablo Neruda's poem, I think it's called Let's Count to 12, where it says, let's just stop. Stop doing everything we do, all the agitation, just stop for a moment and we'll count to 12 and we'll just feel. And, all that can arise from this, the level of honesty that can, arise from this. Capacity to notice what's really happening inside ourselves, in our relationships, in our family, in our society. Yeah, so maybe deep grief, despair can be accessed with care, with tenderness, with courage, so that it could inform our behavior. Or maybe joy could be accessed, in the silence, the joy of just simple presence, the joy of not running away or towards. I'm speaking a little bit freely here. I hope it works. It's a little kind of poetic, or I don't know. I won't even try to describe it. But I think that's, we could talk in terms of regions of the brain. We're in that side that is not, logic, productive, all this. It's a different way to be touched by our human existence, instead of thinking about me and what's going to happen to me and what do I want, and, to actually stop and listen like this. Suddenly it's not in the frame of reference of me. It's, as I tried to put it maybe in words in the meditation, it's about touching humanity, our shared humanity. When we touch this, our values change. We let go of the acquiring mind. And suddenly what arises is the caring heart, we could say. Caring about the human experience of being sensitive. Such a not easy situation to be a human being. So in this stopping here, in this pausing, in this listening, giving generously attention, I I think one of the things that can happen is that we can learn how to hold things, what is felt or situations. When we stop for a moment and pay attention, all our deep kind of intelligence, which we call vipassana, seeing deeply, deep understanding. So when we stop like this and we listen, that kind of intelligence can emerge, arise. The courage can emerge, the capacity to actually hold, carry, honor, celebrate, appreciate, consider. Very powerful kind of intelligence can, emerge. It was not accessible in rushing, running, constantly computing, information, concepts. So going pre-conceptual for a few moments can give us access to an amazing kind of intelligence. Once we're on the other side of, the boredom that can arise, when you actually stop, suddenly you get bored or more agitated. But if we go a little further, if we keep going, keep exploring, if we stay around, something else in time will emerge. Clarity can take that, manifest as clarity or care or joy or friendliness or benevolence or deep tenderness, compassion. Energy is regained. The mind can be refreshed. Not trying to solve anything for just a few moments. Let's stop. Not trying to solve anything, but just feel. Just feel. In there, another voice can speak. Unheard in the last week, maybe, as we were worrying and anticipating and planning and trying to figure out. One quality that I appreciate a lot is this quality of equanimity that you might have heard of if you've been around the Buddhist thoughts lately. And so this equanimity, this capacity to be with things as they are, not much, the capacity to be with not much going on, the capacity to remain present with not much, a lot going on, the capacity to allow the system to be visited by a lot going on. Beauty happening, the capacity to be touched, deeply touched by beauty, without, clinging, grasping, fearing loss, losing. Difficulty happening, the capacity to allow the body, mind, heart to experience difficulty. Difficulty is discomfort, relational discomfort, the discomfort of uncertainty. So that's what we develop here by tuning in, paying attention. As we do this, we learn how to feel, how to deeply feel things without shutting down, or collapsing, which all make sense, are all very natural. And there's other ways also, other natural ways that are possible that we're discovering maybe through this practice by just sitting here, pausing for a moment and feeling. And this can be done at any moment of the day. It's totally legal to do it at any moment. Always welcome to take a moment and through attention to breath, connecting with the full experience of here now. Oh, here it is. We're in the middle of a mess. Okay, it's messy. Oh, here it is. We're in the middle of sweetness. Let's feel this. Oh, we're in the middle of everything collapsing. We're in the middle of confusion, inwardly or societally. Oh, the experience of confusion. Oh, the experience of clarity. Oh, the experience of joy and lightness, of spaciousness. Oh, the experience of contraction, contractedness. Oh, whoa. And so I'm going to reread again a friend Epictetus is saying, what brings affliction to the heart or mind is not reality, but the judgments we have about it. Hating reality, wanting another reality. Very painful. And so here what we're trying to do is to see if we can actually experience reality just as it is. Oh, it's like this right now in me, between us, with the world. It's exactly like this. Allowing this to be felt deeply. So the relationship we have with events, phenomena, inward phenomena, outward phenomena, the relationship we have with it. I might hate it. It's going to be very depleting if I do. And I might, that's the practice we try to do here, try to come a little closer or to allow things to be just as they are right now. At any level, to feel, allow things to be just as they are in order to make space for a creative response, a wise response. The way sometimes nibbana is described, nirvana. What is nirvana? The appropriate response. Not hating the world, but responding to it. Not wanting to keep, but appreciating, allowing, feeling. Any questions you might have about anything that I just said, the impossible application of this in one situation or another, or any other question, you could write it in the chat box that is on the right side there. I'll wait just a few seconds, a minute maybe. And if no question comes, then we'll go back to trying this practice together. Very humbly maybe curiously feeling the world, allowing things to be felt, not trying to dig, get meaning or depth of meaning or anything, not pushing away, not trying to get, just allowing what is there to be there. So that later, when the bell rings at the end of the meditation, we can stand up refreshed, energized, with maybe a little bit more clarity, and then get engaged with what's happening. Take care of ourselves, take care of our loved ones, and take care of all of us. Those who are here, those we know, those we don't know, those who will come. Okay, so let's try this for maybe, let's see here, how to do this during daily activities, not just sitting in meditation. So I think we do it in a formal way, maybe daily. So we actually sit or lie down if it works better for you, or stand or walk. But we dedicate some time daily, if possible. That's a good idea. So says the wise. And we work on this capacity, these abilities, these attitudes, this attitude of allowing, feeling. So we do this formally in order to be able to bring this with us, import this with us when we go back to our daily life. And then in daily life, maybe there's an aspect of intention. And that's also the purpose of sitting daily, is to remember some intention, the intention to be particularly present, the intention to be fully attentive, to dive under preconceived ideas and stay tuned. And so as we sit daily, we cultivate that quality, and we remember it, we give it time, we give it value so that it can come with us. And then in daily activities, if you happen to do something physical, like washing dishes, preparing a meal, then there could be this taking on that intention, bringing this intention of being very conscious, being conscious of the body as it's peeling potatoes. Instead of doing things habitually, bringing that intention to do things not habitually, but to do things consciously. And if we can do this as we dress, undress, brush teeth, peel potatoes, move objects around, then it'll start to come also in our meetings with people. So when we do activities of the body, when we walk from one place to the other, to actually see if we can remember to actually be there as we walk from one room to the other, go up, down the stairs, in the flat or wherever, to actually be there. So often we're absent-minded, caught in our thoughts. So to be there will give us more chance that we'll be there when suddenly we listen to the news or spend time with the other. And so there's an aspect of intentionality. There's an aspect of, can almost be playful, I would say, or exploration. What is it to be particularly present to what's happening as I'm, I don't know, feeding the plants, as I'm, whatever I do, just to see if you can bring a little bit more presence. So the daily activities become practice, and practice becomes the daily activities. And so we end up being just a little bit more conscious of what's happening in the situations, conscious of how we're doing things, conscious of we're moved by what, in our thoughts or in our thinking or in our conversations. So that's how I would say awareness of, sensory awareness of yeah, what we'll do now as we sit, see for yourself if you can bring some of this in daily life. Let's try it for just a few minutes here as we finish. So nothing complex, really. It's just eyes closed or open. As many of you know, just becoming aware of what's happening, aware that there is a body here, waking up to the experience of the body. If the body is in pain, we can bring tenderness. If the body is especially at ease, we can naturally can arise appreciation. If it's rather neutral, then that's a really good exercise to just stay. Stay even though it's not extremely stimulating. Stay here. Could be here in the room or here in the body. And just be aware, interested in the presently arisen reality of silence or sound, of ache or ease, of agitation or calm. Renouncing what's next, renouncing what could be or might be or will it be. Just abandoning these for a moment, for a more intimate connection with what's here. And if what's here is a worried mind or anxious heart, body, see if it can be allowed to be uncomfortable, uneasy, not making so many thoughts about it, but just seeing if we can allow this to be felt. If there is unease, allow the unease to just be there, be accompanied with care, met with care. Notice how it is here now. Sometimes it's heavy, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's contracted, sometimes expansive, sometimes easeful, sometimes so not. We see if it can be okay just for now that it's like this. Maybe take a moment to see what's the intention I want to, what quality do I want to bring forward? Do I want to give value to as I continue my day? What kind of quality do I want to bring to what I'll do or how I'll be? Setting a kind of intention here. Wise intention about how to be with things. I vow to bring a little bit more care. I intend to see if I can remain present on the other side of the bell, present to the body or to the felt experience in the chest, heart area. Okay, we did it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. You know, as you know, on this YouTube channel here of True North Insight, there's many offerings all week, so you can find support. And there's an explosion of support in terms of meditation these days. I'll be here next week, French version. I think in a few days I'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be leading a retreat in French for the European time zone, so that's a possibility. And also, as you know, these teachings are offered freely because they're precious, they're priceless. And in these traditions, teachers are supported, they support the community, and they're supported by the community. And so, you know, to have access to food and shelter and clothing and warmth and medicine, the teachers, you know, depend on the consideration of the community. So thank you so much for thinking about this in the way that it makes sense to you and that is possible for you. And thank you for being there anyway. Yes. Okay. I don't know if I can say this, but that's certainly what I feel is I want to say I love you and see you soon. Stay safe, stay in, take care of yourself and others. Thanks. Somebody's asking for the where you can find the info about this retreat. I think on the pascalauclair.org website there's a link there. Otherwise, write to me on the through that web page, pascalauclair.org, and I'll tell you the info. Okay? Merci.